Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future. I'm your host, Dana Kester McCabe. Taustin is the creative director of the Brown Box Theater Company, a traveling troupe of players based in Boston who visit us here on Delmarva every year. If you haven't seen one of their free productions, you really must see these dedicated artists who are keeping the words of Shakespeare alive. Listen to part of our previous conversation with this Delmarva local who speaks of his creative beginnings here and why he continues to bring his passion for theater home to all of us.
I went to Salisbury School, and my first play I ever did was The Hobbit, and that's where I first got on stage. And fell in love with it pretty quickly. That was in 8th grade, so it was pretty late. And then I went to high school at Proctor Academy in New Hampshire, where that seed was then grew into something a lot different and something a lot bigger. I mean, I was one of those kids that was forced to do team sports. In high school, my high school, you had to do a team sport. And I was like, why isn't theater a team sport? What's the element of the team sport aspect that you're thinking I'm missing? And the answer was, they didn't have one. And I didn't do a team sport one year because I finally convinced them, me being in this musical is more of a team sport than I will ever get anywhere else. Trust me. I have to open up to these people differently than I have to open up to anyone who's kicking a soccer ball. And I found this world of theater, and that was it.
Kyler continued his theater education at Emerson College and the British American Academy at Oxford. He worked for a number of theater companies around New York and Boston before forming his own, the Brown Box Theater.
We are based in Boston, but the company Brown Box the name is born out of the idea of packing everything up in a brown box and taking it where it's needed. And so we've been dedicated since our start to be able to do theater in places that don't have a lot of access to it. So I've always been willing and wanting to bring my work down to the shore. So while this is where I did my first play, and I wanted to try and continue bringing things down here, being that you have to go pretty far to get to anything, any professional theater within the area. And so I saw a lack, and I wanted to fill it. I saw a gap, and I wanted to fix it. And that's what got me here. I love collaborating with as many people as possible throughout the process. From the day one, I have to be collaborating with a playwright if it's a new piece. I then have to be collaborating with my design team, costumes, sets, lights, and then the actors come in with the rehearsal process. And yes, theater is a director's medium, but without them, what do I have? I have nothing. So I love taking my interpretation and my homework and all of my prep, sharing it with as many people as possible, and then using all that creative juices and really come up with something perfect, something as close to perfect as we can get. But then you have to collaborate with the audience, and seeing how things change. The moment laughter starts coming into the room again, it starts there, and then it disappears, because I've seen this 100 times. My stage manager's seen it 100 times. We're not laughing as often. When comedies get that energy back again with an audience, it's infectious, and it is enlivening, and it is so exciting. So that's why we do live theater, getting that immediate feedback.
For several years now, the Brown Box Theater has been giving free performances of the works of Shakespeare for Delmarva audiences in wonderful outdoor venues. This year, they'll do The Taming of the Shrew in a dozen towns in Delaware and on the eastern shore of Maryland. Recently, I caught up with Kyler on the phone to find out more.
We are starting our 5th annual Free Shakespeare, The Taming of the Shrew, with 1 man and 9 women. It's a choice that I made when I revisiting this text. I have actually been in this show before and worked on it previously. And we're really excited to be doing the induction of this play, which is something that very few people do, and it's this whole bit about Sly, the drunkard, the tinker, who is being, in his raucousness, is being tricked into thinking he is a lord in order to teach him a lesson as they go through the story of the Taming of the Shrew. So he will then play Petruchio, the lady who decides to do this trick on him will play Kate. So we are really going to be exploring this whole idea of the misogynistic nature of Sly and women's roles in society, and really trying to ask the question, who truly is the tamer and who is the one who is tamed in our production. There's always a fresh take, a modern twist, or not even so much twist as much as a modern perspective that you can see and still learn from these texts and from this beautiful language, no matter which Shakespeare play you're doing.
You're listening to the Delmarva Almanac. I'm Dana Kester McCabe, and Kyler Taustin is telling us about the Brown Box Theater.
We have mastered the art of taking high-quality professional theater to communities that need it and that crave it and that really want to see more theater in their lives. While we've really mastered packing it all up into our trailers, and then it's amazing what can pop out of those. And that's something that we are proud of and excited to keep expanding and keep bringing to more communities. Taming of the Shrew is going to be a blast to end our 5th season. It's a fun, exciting, very physical, clowning production of Shakespeare, different than anything we'd ever done before. And I'm very excited to be sharing that production and then to launch immediately upon my return from the Eastern Shore into the 6th season with a world premiere. We'll likely be returning with boxer shorts, and the season announcement for the 6th season will be coming out right around August when we open Taming of the Shrew. So there's lots of wonderful things to look forward to throughout the entire year. As I said, we're looking for new venues and new communities that are not only for Shakespeare, but for other productions as well that we do in the fall, the winter, and the spring. And we look forward to working with and collaborating with as many communities as possible to share our work. We are committed to the community down on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. We're committed to working with these different organizations and these communities, and we're excited and hope that everyone will come and bring a friend and see some awesome theater made by some passionate, wonderful artists.
Visit our website, delmarvaalmanac.com/arts, for a link to the Brown Box Theater and a complete list of free performances of The Taming of the Shrew around our peninsula this September. Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters EatDrinkBuyArt.com for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.